Hi, I'm Catherine Evans from Wiki-ed. Hi, I'm Catherine Evans from Wiki-ed. In this video, we're going to look at using some of the proofreading tools in Read and Write. The proofreading tools are Check It. Some of you might also have sounds like in between Check It and the prediction button. Prediction, dictionary, picture dictionary, and I always consider play, pause and stop are also proofreading tools. So we're going to start with the Check It button. So just click into your Word document and press the Check It button. You'll know when it's working because a white underline appears under the symbol up in the corner. And then if you wait a moment, everything starts to happen. Now, I changed my settings to underline words that Check It was picking up. And you can just run Check It straight from your underlines, but you could also use the option at the bottom to pull up the full window, but I'm going to show you how they both work. So the first error it's found is reading, and I'm going to click that, and I know what that error is. I know what it's going to say is wrong with that. So when I click it, it comes up with a list of options, plus it gives me the option to ignore or add to the dictionary, and I'm just going to choose the correct spelling of reading. The next error though, effect, I'm not entirely sure that that is what it's telling me about that. I can click it and it says it could be affect. Well, maybe. So I'm going to choose it. And then the one after that is obviously your, and it's now just disappeared as I've chosen effect. So it's taken that one out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open the Check It window here, so that the Check It window will actually tell me a bit more information about these errors. And that's always a good thing to do if you're not sure. So it's telling me that I've put are, and that's not correct. And I'm looking, yes, no, definitely not correct. So I'm going to look down this list that it's offered me and see if the correct word is in, which would be are, A-R-E. It doesn't always necessarily have the correct spelling. So what you can do, if you know the correct word and it's not there, you realise straight away what kind of a spelling error you've made, is you can just move it out of the way and you can just change it on here. And that's always quite a good way of doing it. So I've just changed that R. It's still showing me the error on the screen. I'm just going to click the move to next error button because it's actually gone now. And now it's telling me I've got a grammar error. And as you can see down here, it shows me what the error is. And it's saying don't put a space before the full stop. So if I click the turquoise full stop, should take the space out, though I've had experience before that it doesn't always do it. And now it's picked up that I've not got a space after the full stop, so add a space between sentences. So again, I'm going to click to replace the word and it should put that space in for me. Then move on to the next error. It's not always very quick. I have quite a slow computer. So difference is spelled incorrectly, and that is the correct spelling. But if you're not sure, you can try the different ones. And for each spelling you look at, you can also see the definitions of that word. And you can see that you could then change it as well as seeing it in the sentence. But the first one was correct, so I'm going to go and choose difference. And this time I've put it's saying put a space after the comma, except it's going to come up with another error. I can see that because I've got comma full stop. You wouldn't have comma full stop. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to have a look at that, and it should actually just be a full stop. So I'm going to do what I did earlier and I'm going to change it. So as you can see, I'm going to move on again then. It's now picked up a raft of errors, but it's now gone back up to Arial. I did wonder if it was going to pick that up. Arial should be A-R-I-A-L. That's correct. And that's right at the end. So it's not picked up the first one, actually. It's only picked up the second one. Oops, I've maximised that. And that is the correct spelling. So I'm going to click, I'm not going to add it to the dictionary. I'm going to ignore this type of error, which means it wouldn't check that word in the future. But maybe I will actually. Maybe I'm just going to add Arial, as in Arial the font, to the dictionary. Now, the thing is that it hasn't picked up every error. You've still got to proofread your work. For example, I have spelled Arial wrong there. It's the wrong spelling of a word. I know that. It does pick up lots of things. It can also pick up words like there, and there, and two, and two. So if I show you, I'm sure there is a two in here somewhere, and I can put it back on again. So easier to read. And then at the end, I'm going to put some people like to use different fonts in their work. We'll see if it picks that one up. So we'll just check it again and we'll come back to it. And I'm going to use the full-on check it. I'm not just going to use the purple underlines, but it has found both of the errors that I've put in. So that's really, really good. So yeah, it's suggesting that it's a possible typing error or a grammar error and that I should change that. And once that's changed, it's going to suggest, yeah, that I should be using there. As I said when I talked about the toolbar, some people will find their read and write has a second button here that looks like an ear, and that is called the sounds like button, and that does check for things like there, and there, and two, and two. But the check it button itself is supposed to do that, and they are phasing out the sounds like button again now. Okay. Second proofreading tool I have is the prediction tool, and this is one of my favourites. If I click the prediction tool, I can pull it down, and I just like to dump it in the margin on the right because that makes sense to me. And then as I type, it is trying to guess the words that I'm typing, and I've gone for sovereignty again, and once again it hasn't found it. So let me choose one that it will find. So I'm going to go for physics. And when the word appears there, you can either press the function key that it's written as, or you can click it. If it speaks to you, go into the settings and turn off speak when you hover. I've already done that. So it will try and have a guess at the next word and make a sentence just like your mobile phone will do. But with your prediction, as you find a word you can't spell, so my favourite is necessary. So is it N-E-S? Oh no, it's not N-E-S. So is it N-E-C? Right. This is where it doesn't like you going backwards. So I'm going to hit enter and I'm going to just put the word again. N-E-C. There we are. Come up with necessary, and I can just click it in and I get all my C's and all my S's in correctly. You can leave the prediction window open the whole time you're working, but if you switch to another application like maybe the internet, the check it window is just going to sit on top of it. So generally people close it when they're not typing. So if you've finished typing, close it, then go through your proofreading and just use it as you need to. The next button we have is the dictionary button. And we can use the dictionary button in several ways. We can click to open it and type in a word. And I've now realised why I couldn't get sovereignty up, and that's because the dictionary is on the basic one. So flick it across to advanced. So type in your word, and then you can either click the purple search button or you can press enter on your keyboard. And it will find you all the definitions of your word. It includes synonyms, and if you want, you can even see a picture. That does require a connection to the internet, and there's the pictures for nurse from the picture dictionary. If I close that back down again, I'm going to leave this because this was the word I wanted, and I just looked it up and checked my word. If you've downloaded a document that you're reading and it's come up with a word that you don't know, so if I double click a word and then press the dictionary button, it will look up that word for me, and that's really handy if that's come out of a document you're reading. It may be that there's not a picture for your word. There is for this, but they're very simplistic. So if it's a technical word, there may be a picture. It may even be that there isn't a definition for the word. If that's the case, then you click Web Dictionary. Is what it should have actually done. So it can look down and check those for you. So that's another good tool when you're working and proofreading. The final tool here is just the picture dictionary by itself, and I'm going to choose physics, and I'm going to just click the picture dictionary button, and it can give me a picture that depicts physics. If I click this button, it will then also look it up in the dictionary for me, as they're well linked. And if I actually wanted to use that picture in my work, I can drag it and drop it. So that can be useful if you're working in early years. So I'm going to close that down. Now, the last thing that I would suggest you use for your proofreading is the option to listen back to your work. For example, if I take punctuation out of this document, take that out, and I'm going to take that out. We end up with a really long sentence with no punctuation. As you hear it being read aloud, you should find that it's obvious that you need to do something.
When you are reading a document, different font affect your reading. On screens,
straight away, I noticed that it was different font affect your reading, and that should definitely be a plural. I'm going to click back into the next paragraph, and I'm going to unpause it.
It is believed that the straight fonts such as Arial are clearer and easier to read. The serif fonts like Times New Roman are often used in print books but are not as easy to read on a screen. If you really struggle with reading, then choosing a clearer font can make a difference.
Right, I'm going to stop that now. And as you should have heard, where I took all that punctuation out, you can actually hear that there's not enough punctuation. So that's another tool in your proofreading armoury.
I'm Catherine Evans from Wiki-ed. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos on assistive technology. And if you want to find me on social media, search for Wiki-ed Essex.